Hello everybody! I am so excited to have you here at my makeup table today to watch me put together one of my everyday looks for when I'm filming or teaching class. And I invite you to follow along and I'll take you through the process of all my little steps. I will pull my hair back because I've done my hair already, but I won't be able to do my makeup. I just kind of clip it back a little bit, move it from my face. There we go. Doesn't bother the curl. Lovely. Okay, so to start, I use a really heavy moisturizer, which I know not everyone needs, but my skin is really, really dry and I live by the ocean. And so when I go outside, the salt really kind of, you know, just takes a lot of the moisture out of my skin. So I use this. This is Bobbi Brown. It's called Skin Nourish, and this is actually a face mask. I typically use this at night and I will put it all over and let it soak in and then pat it dry. During the day, I will use this on my spots where I just feel a lot of the moisture leave. So a lot to do with my cheeks and right here, moisturizer on. And then right before my makeup, I like to use, here's another product by Bobbi Brown. This is just the hydrating face cream. And I get a small one because it's really, really condensed. And I'll just put it under my eye a little bit. Under my eye, just a little bit here, a little bit here. And then around my mouth. Okay, so now the primer. Primer is something that is new to me, and I used to think, what the F is that? I don't wear a lot of contouring makeup. I rarely wear a lot of foundation. Today I'll be wearing more foundation because I'm going to be filming on camera and filming this vlog, and so I really find that a really, really great primer helps everything not to like soak into your skin, but just set really beautifully. So this one is my favorite. It's Smashbox Photo Finish. And I just put a little bit on there. I have an oil-free one. So you just put a little tiny little bit. I don't use a lot. I don't wear, like I said, a lot of heavy foundation. I just kind of lightly put it on just a little bit. You'll feel it's like velvet. It feels so soft. This is just velvety smooth. I love primer. I think this is actually my favorite part of doing my makeup, is putting the primer on. Okay, and I like to move up the skin too. I don't like to push down on my skin. So just kind of move it upwards. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and do foundation. This is what I use when I film. So this is Smashbox again, Studio Skin, and it's pretty light. I think this is the one over from the one that's the lightest. What I find is this is long wear, and so a lot of the times when I'm filming, I am filming on days that are like 15, 20 hours long. I, you know, don't like doing a lot of touch-up work, and so this works for me. I do use a beauty blender. What I do is I just kind of put the foundation on my hand here, just dab a little bit, and then I just go under my eye, right there, see? Oh. I don't use a lot of concealer. I don't use a lot of the foundation either, so I just kind of plop it on there. I do go over my eyes a little bit, and I will blend it in, but I kind of like to get it all on there first. A little bit on my nose, a little bit on the forehead. I am blessed with mom's genes, and so I got very good skin. So I don't like to wear lots of makeup if I don't have to. This is more just to blend it in and get the under the eyes looking really, really good. So now that I have it kind of all over, I go in and I just blend. I do have a brush here that I will use where I really need to just kind of circle it in, but today I'm just doing a class, so I'm just going to dab it in, just blending it. To make me look a little glowy and even. Make sure I'm blended. Okay, there we go. Now moving on, I think it's hilarious. I go through my pictures and the one thing that I really just cringe at the most are my eyebrows. And so I'm one of those people where I never did my eyebrows. And for those of you who grew up, you know, you were born in the 80s, you grew up in the 90s, you didn't do your eyebrows either. It's really embarrassing. I look around at all these kids and I'm like, wow, you know, we didn't do that. So what I do is I use an end here. Let me pull this out. Okay, so I have an angle on one side and just a little thing on the end, and I just like to get it wet. So I use a lot of water in my makeup routine. Not everyone does that. I'm just kind of showing you what I do. So I just dab it wet, and I like to move up on the eyebrows, pulling them up just a little bit. And then I shape them down a little bit. And I like to keep my eyebrows a little messy. They need to be done, but nothing I can do about that today. There we go, one side. Just get a little wet here. Like I said, go up. And then I just kind of shape it. Now I do have a little like hole right here, and you'll see how I kind of fill that in. Releasing perfection. Okay, and I do just kind of dab that dry a little bit. I know a lot of people, I cringe that I'm using water, but I do that. And I probably wouldn't suggest that if you're somebody who wears a lot of foundation. Okay, so now what I do is I will dab the other end in the water as well. And here I'm just using a makeup powder. So it's just a brown powder, and I get it wet, dab it on, just a little bit like this. You'll see it start to get a little wet. And then what I do is I go in here, and I make a line, and then I fill in. I don't like to be too perfect because I don't like it to look like the 90s where you have just like a big long line. And I just kind of shape it up to my natural little arch right here. And then I bring it down. I just kind of blend everything together. I like to go back and do different strokes, so I'll sometimes go up and over. That way it doesn't look like a big clump in the very beginning. I just kind of just keep going over. Sometimes I need to dab down. This helps it look a little bit more natural. There, and you can't notice my little hole. Boop, boop. Love! I like to do it this way because it just builds on each other. And it doesn't look like one big little blow. And there's the eyebrows. Now, I love doing the winged eyeliner. And I know a lot of people ask me, Kayla, how do you do your liner? And so I wanted to show you a little bit. I do use brush, powder, and water. So like I said, I use a lot of water in my makeup routine. I just really kind of look at it like being an artist, and I don't like it to be too perfect or too distinct. I like to blend a lot, and so it's just what I feel comfortable doing. So I do keep a little tray of water here on my desk, and here is the brush I use, right? It's just angled. And then I take a dry powder. So here you can see I use this one a lot. I just am going to dab it in the water, dab it in the powder, and then I'll draw it on. So I do that, dab in the powder, and I do keep the powder separate if I need to use the same color to do work on my eyelid or eyeshadow, because the water will change the texture to the shadow, so you want to keep them separate. So we're just kind of move around like watercolor, and I have it here on my brush. So now what I do is I like to go with the shape of my eye. So you can see here where your eyelashes kind of go up, and that's the line that I use. So sometimes I do a very dramatic eyeliner, and sometimes I do one that's not so dramatic, depending on my mood, but I always do liner. So let's see how it works today. So what I do is I just kind of lift up my eye and just put the first little, you can kind of just put it lightly so you can see where it's going to fall. Okay, there's one side. And then you want to get it to match the other side. So just lightly put up my eye and just lightly. Okay. And then you want to kind of go back, and this is something that I do. I take a step back and I look at the liner already before I glop it on and do one eye perfect. I want to see how evenly they match. So if you can tell here, I have a little bit off here. So I'm just going to take this a little bit more out. The one really great thing about using shadow is it's easy to take off. When you do it like this, it's very light. I don't glop it on there, and then you can fill in darker. So as you can see, that looks pretty good. All right, so now I get my brush back on. And here is the fun part. So I take the tip, close my eyes, the point here, and I just move it down. And I open my eye. And this is where you just paint. This is why I like using water. You can see how it's just a line. But if you mess up, it's easy to move. You don't want it too wet, but then I just fill it in, kind of like painting. Get down on the lash. Just kind of go over there, smooth the lines. I do find it's helpful to open my eye when I'm doing inside the crease right here. Beautiful. And then I just go in and I make this a little bit more distinct. Smooth out the edges. Bring it out a little bit longer. The really sharp point. There you go. What I like to do is just kind of go down to the lash, and I pull this down on the lower. Just down. I don't like to go too thick. I just lightly go over to the front. Not heavy, just really light. Ta-da! So you can see one side and the other side. This really does make your eyes pop, makes it just seem a little bit bigger. This might be a little bit dramatic for an everyday look, but my everyday happens to be teaching online, so it's fun. It's part of my personality. Now I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. And if you notice, I'm putting my eyebrows up a little bit because when you use water, it does need to dry. So just blow on it a little bit. And there you go. Okay, now I love eyelashes. It's probably my favorite thing other than eyeliner is gonna be lashes. And I've tried a lot of products, I've tried a lot of primers, but the one that I stick to the most, that I love, that I feel works so well for my lashes is L'Oreal Voluminous Original. It is the best, the best. You can get this at Target, you can get it everywhere, and I just find with my lashes, it works so, so well. Okay, let's just pump this a little. Okay, I don't curl my lashes at all, but I do have naturally really long lashes. So what I'm gonna do is just look down and I just kind of wiggle the brush a little bit on the lash line and just kind of move it up a little bit. Just kind of brush them out. And then I go longer and I roll up. And as I change direction, I like to pull the ends out. That's how I get that cat eye dramatic look with the lashes. Kind of shape them out. As this starts to dry, I like to do more layers. Now, I don't use a lot of powder, but I do have this powder here that I use from Smashbox as well. I find this is great because I just dab it on. This is just to kind of help set anything that I've done, and it just kind of push it here, and then just lightly on the nose, just a little on the forehead, a little bit here, just lightly dab. I don't cake it on. And I find if you put too much in, it will go into your creases and make you look much older than you are. And then, the fun part, the best part that makes it come to life is the blush. Now, I use a really pretty shimmery blush. This one is called Warm Soul. And I love this because it's a little bit of a bronzer as well, but it really does kind of shape my face. So you can't get too messy with this. I just put this on and kind of just do the apple of my cheek. You know, little apple. And then I just pull it up. So apple. And I blend it really well at the hairline. So it doesn't look like you have a really big line, but you can see on this side, it just makes it very dewy and glowy compared to this side, right? A little bit more definition. What I like about the shimmer is it just gives it that dewy, fresh, bright look. Just kind of dot here. A little shimmer here and here. And you can tell it just really warms it up, brings it to life. If at any point I feel like I've done too much, it's very easy to kind of take it down, blend it more in. And so here is the finished look. Let's go ahead and take the hair down. Shush it up a little bit. And as you can see, there's my look. Beauty is all about feeling good and your personal style. And so if there's anything that's inspired you here today, try it out. See what feels good for your face, for your eye shape, for your face shape, for your color palette. And one thing that I love is when you find something, don't be afraid to stick with it and tailor it to something that feels really good to you. So now I'm so excited because I'm going to go hop on the New Moon workshop and teach about manifesting. It's gonna be so much fun. Thank you for hanging out with me. If you would like to see more videos like this, let me know in the comments below. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and a little like, that helps me out a lot. And I look forward to creating more of these with you. Thank you so much. I love you.